Hello, and welcome to my weekly recap of the Overwatch League matches of the week. Let's get started. 1. Paris Eternal. Played fairly decent, and clinched their spot in the Summer Showdown knockouts after their win against the Titans. Shout out to them. They really have improved a lot, and while they probably aren't super top tier for me yet as they couldn't clutch it out against the Shock, they are definitely a dark horse this tourney. 2. San Francisco Shock. Twilighty? But seriously, they just aren't the same team anymore. They're constantly indecisive about what roster to stick with, keep making very obvious mistakes, have many weird comp decisions, and most of all have dogshit mentals. They were so obviously boomed after the Junkertone throw. Frankly, I think they should have to God and Twilight as the support, but Vile 2T has admittedly not looked horrible on the Lucio, as their supports have been the most problematic thus far. Overall, I keep saying this but I haven't counted them out yet. They are probably out of the knockouts this time around, but hopefully they can learn from this experience, finish reintegrating us and come back strong. But for now, the three-peat is looking like a pipe dream. Washington Justice. They confuse me. Really, there was zero reason they should have been dominated that hard by Atlanta. Yes, Atlanta is very good, probably a top 2 or 3 team, but still. They looked lost. They looked solid against Florida, but at this point Vancouver would look solid against them. They need to come back strong next week, or their tourney is an even bigger failure than the Shocks. Florida Mayhem. Check map was as bad as people thought. Their season is over, and it is looking like they will go 4-12 this season. What a complete embarrassment, honestly. How did this team go to fucking Hawaii? Seoul Dynasty. What? They looked boomed this week. They were dominated by Shanghai and went 5 maps against fucking Guangzhou of all teams. Will I revoke their top 2 status? Well, I think they're third but still good. News has come out that Prophet had abdominal pain, which likely affected his play a decent amount. It's not the end of the world yet, their chances of going to Hawaii are still fairly high. Shanghai Dragons. Everyone expected them to look good, but this was a whole new level of dominant. They completely shut on the 2 and 3 ranked teams in a pack. Flitter honestly looks unstoppable. I don't think their dominance should be questioned at this point. Guangzhou Charge. Tanks and supports are still a huge issue. They looked fairly clutch, and Eileen and CR0NG looked great, but they are still the jumbled failure they were all this time. Philadelphia Fusion. They looked good, and it was nice seeing Funyastro back. He did just as good as we expected him to. However, their loss against Shanghai shouldn't be overlooked. They just were unable to do much of anything against them. They had some moments on maps 1 and 2, but the third was just tragic. I have faith, though. I'd say they are a bit above Seoul at the moment, at the very least. Vancouver Titans. Still trash. Moving on. Dallas Fuel. While they looked mortal for a hot second against Florida, they bounced back and showed off their insane mentals against both Florida and Atlanta. Sparkle 90 is an absolute nut at 2 first and Symmetra 2, and Hanbin was absolutely insane against Atlanta. They have once again proven themselves to be the best team in the Houston Outlaws. Definitely did a lot better than I thought they would. They handily beat the Shock, which is quite the achievement still. Piggy is insane on Somber, Crimzo has really come into his own, and Dante is as good as ever. Very scary team. Atlanta Rain. Completely killed my doubts about them not being meta-proof. They dominated Washington and played an insanely close game against Dallas. Gator and their DPS look straight dangerous, and IR1S definitely popped off as well. However, their mentals are worth noting. They are awful with map 5s, and it cost them against Dallas. If they become more clutch, I could honestly see them upsetting Dallas at some point. As for my updated power rankings, I think for now I will go Dallas, Atlanta, Houston, Los Angeles Gladiators, San Francisco, Paris, Washington, Boston, Toronto, London, Florida, then Vancouver. For a pack, I think I'll go Shanghai, Philadelphia, Seoul, Hangzhou, Chengdu, Guangzhou, New York then Los Angeles Valiant. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe for more.